it take to get a op back? All my niggas outside, steak, bitch, we out back.
Hello, everybody. Hello, 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 hello. Oh, goodness. Welcome to Lunchtime Conversations. Joy, I think you used that. So it's like on earlier. Why you ever been having a lunchtime conversation lately? Well, we're back. We are back with lunchtime conversations. We are back. We are back. Mark, what's up with it? What is up with it, homie? What is up with it? I hope y'all day are. I hope y'all day is going fabulous. Hope y'all getting things accomplished that you need to get accomplished today. Um, Hope your day is super fantastic and all that good old stuff. But nevertheless, welcome to Lunchtime Conversations. I am the official urban therapist. I have a very interesting topic that I'm going to share with y'all today. It has come to my attention that Dr. Umar Johnson had something to say about Kevin Samuels. Came across my live feed, and I was like, huh. I wonder what Dr. Umar Johnson had to say about Kevin Samuels passing, because I know for a fact that Dr. Umar Johnson didn't agree with a lot of things that Kevin Samuels talk about, and I know they kind of sort of in a way had that little back and forth a little bit, where Kevin Samuels doing on this live show, he just kind of say subtle stuff during the show about Umar Johnson. That Umar Johnson be direct and say some stuff about Kevin Samuels, but nevertheless, here we are. So I'm this video came across my feed, or as I say, my desk, and so I'm very very interested to share this video with y'all today. We're gonna see what Dr. Umar Johnson had to say about all this, about this whole debacle that's going on with Kevin Samuels and these old crazy women and beta male simps sitting up here celebrating because of this man passed away. Oh yeah, absolutely. You catch the live later. You catch the live later. It'll be up. I'm not gonna set the private. But yeah. So I am very very interested. I'm very interested to see what Dr. Umar Johnson had to say about this. Now, um, ever since the passing of Kevin Samuels, I have been very adamant about how the way I felt about these women and these beta male simp dudes who are literally celebrating and praising that this dude had passed away. I've been real adamant how the way I felt about that, and I'm not changing my stance on there. I think that is ridiculous, and I think it's wrong, regardless if you agree with the message or not. Fact of the matter is that praising someone who died is totally wrong. It is wrong, and I don't agree with it. I think it's very toxic. To be honest, I believe in karma. I believe that karma is going to take its place. So it is what it is. Y'all could want to say that I'm a part of these old dusty dudes or whatever. You can say what you want to say. Everybody really don't care. I don't. I really don't care. But overall, right is right, regardless of the fact. Right is right, and regardless of who it is, I don't condone that. Praising someone who died is crazy, very toxic, very absolutely toxic. And this is the reason why me personally, I've been really, really grabbing the neck per se. And I mean this not in the physical way, but in the more of a spiritual way. I've been grabbing the necks of these modern day women and showing a mirror reflection of the behavior that they're resembling. Not only these modern day women, but also these old toxic modern day men too. These toxic beta male simp men too, as well. You know what I'm saying? So I've been applying a lot of pressure lately on my lives talking about this. One thing about this as well too, and I knew it was going to happen, but I had posted something about Mother's Day, right? And sure enough, someone came on there and took it as those urbanists talk about every woman in the world. Urbanists not talking about every woman in the world. I'm not saying every woman in the world is toxic. I'm not saying every woman in the world resemble this type of behavior. I'm only talking about these type of modern day women who resemble this type of behavior that I'm talking about. That's who I'm talking about. Or these beta male simp dudes who resemble this type of behavior. That's what I'm talking about. If you don't resemble this behavior, I'm not talking to you. I ain't talking about you at all. PFP, what's up with it, bro? Hey, what it do, bro? Grabbing the necks. Yeah, I'm wilding, bro. And I mean that not in a physical sense. I mean that in a spiritual sense. Let me reiterate that. I mean that in a spiritual sense. So if y'all decide to do a sound bite on that and say, man, the official urban therapist said he be grabbing women by the necks, that dude is abusive. By all means, troll on the head. Troll on the head. Do what you do. Do what you do. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this conversation with Dr. Umar Johnson. This time I actually watched this video in its entirety, right? So I know what to expect about this conversation that Dr. Umar Johnson is going to have regarding Kevin Samuelson passing and about these toxic women that they're doing this, okay? So I'm going to do my very best to get through this as much as possible. If I can't get through this by hour, if I can't get through with this within an hour, then I will resume this discussion. In other words, I'll do a part 2 of this later. Not today, because I already got another show scheduled for today, but maybe on tomorrow, so I'll resume it. All right, and continue on. But I'm gonna do my best to get through it. All right, I'm doing my best. The video is no more than about like 20 minutes long, and the video is it's not an actual video of Dr. Umar Johnson, but it's actually audio. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. This is gonna be very, very interesting. Indeed. And I want to get y'all perspective about this as well, too, right? I want to hear y'all perspective about it. You say you got your folks next in the spiritual sense. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Man, what's up with it, bro? What's up with it? I got your text, bro. I just didn't respond back to it yet. But I got you, bro. Silas, hey, how you doing, Miss Silas? She all up in Paris, living the life. Say y'all. If y'all think that urban vacation, right? Silas vacation. I mean, she literally vacation. I vacation. She vacation for real. Silas was all over the place. She was up in Paris. She was up in Disney World in Paris. She was all over the block. She was all up in Europe, turning it up. But Silas, I hope that you had a great time, you and your family. It is much needed, much deserving. This is one of the things that I always encourage people as well to do with your life, is to live your life to the fullest. So go out, experience life, because you deserve it. You're going out, you're working, you're doing all these things as being a mother and everything, you know what I'm saying? Providing for your children, everything, you know what I'm saying? So why not enjoy your life? Why not? Go out and travel. Go out and do things that you enjoy doing, okay? Go out and do these things. I always encourage that every single time. So yeah, salute to that as well too. Salute. Let's see. back to the topic at hand. Back to the topic at hand, and let's go ahead and jump right into this conversation. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen, and we're gonna jump into this conversation. Let me do this first. I'm gonna throw up this banner first, y'all. Then I'm gonna switch over to this audio, and we're gonna jump right into it. All right, appreciate y'all tuning in.
This week we saw the passing of the prophet Kevin Samuels, who is a polarizing figure, primarily for telling the truth. So, why do you think we've seen such polarization over his death, and many black women celebrating as if they had just vanquished
Salute everyone
Thanos
tuning
at
in.
the end of the Avengers or something when it comes to the passing of Kevin Samuels?
Here's what I would say. First thing that I think has to be said on this topic of the passing of Mr. Kevin Samuels is none of the black women who chose to go on his platform were forced to do so. He didn't beg any of them. He didn't manipulate any black women into coming on his platform. They all did so consciously of their own free decision. They came willingly. His platform was supported by women, and he has just as many female defenders as he has male defenders. And so, therefore, to some degree, although I likewise did not agree with his message or his methods, many sisters who are suggesting that Kevin Samuels created this rift between black men and black women, they're being disingenuous. 75% of the vitriol, the hostility, and the vilification that black women are now showing towards Kevin Samuels would be more rightly placed or directed towards the queendom, the sisterhood, not Kevin Samuels. If anything, he exposed it, he exploited it, and he marketed the pre-existing differences between black men and black women, but he did not birth them. And so I'm disappointed in both the way that black men and black women are reacting to Kevin Samuels' death. On the side of the sisterhood,
Now, so far that Dr. Umar Johnson is saying, I absolutely agree with him on this perspective about this. I do. At the end of the day, when you look at it through just a straight, honest perspective, Kevin Samuels absolutely, positively marketed talking about black women and their behavior, you know what I'm saying, for us the market concern about relationships. He did that. Absolutely he did. Absolutely he did. Not taking that away. And this was one of the things that I disagree with for us Kevin Samuel, you know what I'm saying, well, how the way he did it, his approach about it. At the end of the day, his approach really didn't have nothing to do with improving the quote unquote black community or anything like that. All it was a business marketing opportunity for him, and he capitalized on that 100%. So on that point, I agree with Dr. Umar Johnson on that. I agree.
I'm seeing black women say things like, I'm throwing a party to celebrate his death. I've seen a sister say that. I've seen other women say, yes, we should be praising God for this. We should be honoring the ancestors that he is dead. But did you have the same energy for the police that killed Trayvon Martin? Did you have the same energy for the police who killed Breonna Taylor and Sandra Bland? I mean, what about the enemies of the black community? Did you throw a party when they were convicted or murdered or whatever the case may be? You don't show that type of vitriol to the enemies of black people, but yet you'll show it to Kevin Samuels. And then on the side of the brother's attorney, I take issue with the way in which many of our men are elevating him to the level of a black liberation martyr. Kevin Samuels was not a black activist. He did not have a history of grassroots work. I'm not aware of anything he did to fight against police injustice, mass incarceration, miseducation, gentrification, access to wealth. He was
Absolutely. Once again, I agree with Dr. Moore Johnson on this point too. That a lot of men, especially in the manosphere in the red pill community, they are trying to make Kevin Samuels as a martyr, meaning that this dude just did this extraordinary work where he ended up benefiting the community as a whole. In reality, just like I also pointed out too, that at the end of the day, all Kevin Samuels really did, he just did a certain work and then he just marketed and targeted a certain issue and he just capitalized on that. True enough. There are some people out there that said that by listening to Kevin Samuels, they literally changed their life. I done seen countless of time where different women and men either came on this platform or wherever the case may be and said that, hey, Kevin Samuels, by me listening to your content, it made me reevaluate my relationship to where now I want to stay committed to the husband, or I'm looking different. Instead of me trying to look for this 1% man who's a millionaire and stuff, right? It caused me to think differently, right? And to appreciate the men who are, within the average, category, where I could appreciate them and I could go and vet out these particular type of men and we could live a happy, successful, productive life. You know what I'm saying? So I don't take that away from Kevin Samuels. Absolutely, I don't. But for us, him being a martyr, for us, him being the symbol, for us, him having like a Jesus-like perspective, no, not at all. Also, the guy who's interviewing Umar and stuff, right? He at the very beginning of the interview, he literally called Kevin Samuels a prophet. He called Kevin Samuels a prophet. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that Kevin Samuels was a prophet. I don't. It wasn't nothing prophetic that Kevin Samuels did, other than talk about an issue that needed to be talked about. That's the only thing he did. Nothing more, nothing less.
a businessman. He was a very successful businessman who used his platform to market his views on black male-female relationships to a tune of $3+ million. And I have no problem with people celebrating him as a businessman. I have no problem with people applauding the professional manner in which he offered his narrative to black men and black women.
Real quick. Shout out to Gabe. What's up with it, Gabe? Welcome back, bro. Shout out to you, homie.
Three-piece suit, very calm, very professional. The ambiance of his platform, I had no problem with the way he conducted himself. But the method and the message, I totally disagree with. And I support black men who want to support Kevin Samuels, but it is disingenuous and it is wrong, Dr. King and Medgar Evers and Malcolm X and Fred Hampton and the most honorable Marcus Garvey, to elevate this man's work to the level of martyrhood or saintdom when he has no history of grassroots activism or work. He was a businessman who did a very good job offering his opinions on male-female relationships.
Now, one of the questions I think people have is his death and the story around it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. Do you think there's any validity to this question of whether or not he was assassinated? Because he was found with a Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, Spanish woman who was a nurse, and it all just seems a little too convenient. Do you think there's any validity to this claim that he may have been assassinated?
I think there is validity. I do not believe that it is potentially a political assassination. He was very successful. He made a lot of money. He had enemies. And so I very much think that it is possible that black women who hated him or black men who were jealous of him could have potentially participated in a conspiracy that brought about his premature demise.
Now, before he continue with this point, now once again, this is another point that I do agree with Dr. Umar about. And this is one of the things that I have covered in my previous lives too. The previous live that I have covered talking about this, dealing with this crab in a barrel mentality. For some strange reason, whenever any one of us end up start succeeding, right? When we start elevating to a point, to a higher plateau than our counterparts, we start hating on each other. We start figuring out ways to bring that person down to the level that you want them to be on. I done seen this time and time again, over and over again, where we're literally, just like what Umar said, we're literally create conspiracy theories against one another. For example, we'll start hating on each other, right? And we'll create a false narrative. Like, say, for example, many of y'all who are content creators right now, listen to me, right? People, they'll create a false narrative against you, right? They'll say, oh, you ugly. Oh, you doing this. Oh, you doing that. And they'll create these narratives against you. It's all right, not just because of clout, but also because deep down inside, they are hating on you. They have this crab in the barrel mentality. They feel like that you're better than them. So therefore, they want to bring you down to their level. Because even further than that is because when it comes down to it, the reason why they also is hating on you is because they're jealous and also they are intimidated of you. They're very intimidated of you. So they need to find every little excuse possible to try to bring you down. Kevin Samuel was no different. The only thing about Kevin Samuels was that he was backed, the people who was already hating on him to begin with, they was backed by these old toxic women. That's the only difference. I also share this on my live as well too, that these type of toxic women, right, they could do one or two things for a man. They could make you or they could break you. They can make you or they could break you. They could elevate you. They could tear you down. Absolutely they can. Absolutely they can. And just like I say, Kevin Samuel was no different. No different whatsoever. No difference.
I'm also not going to rule out the possibility that the non-black woman that he unfortunately spent his last night on earth with may have been a proxy for his assassination. The fact that this footage showing that she and Mr. Samuels had a disagreement on camera. Okay, he was a little perturbed. I saw the video. We could not see her, but it did look like she wanted to walk in front of the frame on his live, and he told her no. He motioned her away from that. It also looked like he was telling her, if you want to leave, go ahead and leave. You know, he seemed like he was dismissive of whatever her issue was. Understandably, if he's about to go live and she knows that, this is not the time to discuss your issue. So perhaps she wanted to sabotage his live to force him to deal with whatever her issue was. And allegedly, he succumbed on the very evening that he had this mild altercation with this woman. So yes, I think it is very possible that that woman, who many allege was a nurse, could have been a proxy in Mr. Samuels'. The fact that the police report mentioned that they were called for an injury. They didn't say a black male was having a heart attack. They were called there for an injury, which to me is suggestive of the possibility that there was some sort of a physical altercation that took place between him and that female. So yes, I do believe it could have been foul play.
We've gotten to a point in our society.
So what would I think about Umar's perspective about this? That he was saying that once again he went in reviewed one live. I believe it was one of the last lives that Kevin Samuels did. I'm not 100%. I don't know 100% on that, but I believe that's what it was. Where at the beginning of this live, the woman was actually there, right? The last live he did, and she was kind of doing some like altercations or whatever stuff, right, to try to sabotage him from going live. You know what I'm saying? And he was saying also that according to the police reports and stuff, they were saying that they came due to an injury, not because the person was, not because Kevin Samuels was having a heart attack or any type of medical conditions. They were saying that an injury had occurred. So what would y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that?
Where it's very difficult to believe literally any narrative coming out of the mainstream media. And when it comes to this narrative about his activities on the last night of his life, very little of it is adding up. And I think that we have to take that in consideration, both in considering his physical, perhaps, assassination, but in the character assassination that we've seen happen thereafter.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's a great point to make as well too. Before I address that, I want to share this with y'all too. Now, what's interesting about this whole situation is that my wife, right, Mrs. Urban, do not watch Kevin Samuels. She don't. She heard of Kevin Samuels, right? The reason why she first knew about Kevin Samuels is because one day me and her was sitting down, you know what I'm saying? We was laying in bed and we sitting down, we was watching one of Kevin Samuels' shows, all right? So we was both sitting down watching the show. And I kind of, you know, to be honest with you, I kind of purposely did it because I just want to see her point of view about how she felt about the topic that Kevin Samuels was talking about, right? So we sat down to watch this particular episode of Kevin Samuels' show. She was giving me her perspective about his show and everything like that. And of course, like how a lot of women do, their main issue with Kevin Samuels is with his approach. How the way he approached the topic that he's talking about, and also how the way he approached the women who are on this show. That's one of the main issues, and that's one of the main reasons why a lot of women get triggered by Kevin Samuels. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing different from Mrs. Irby as well. She said the same exact thing and stuff, but however, she don't watch Kevin Samuels, right? But after when his death occurred, guess what? She came in there running to me. She like, babe, did you hear about Kevin Samuels? I like, you know, good and well. I done heard about Kevin Samuels. I did a live about it and everything. Then after that, she said this. She said this. She like, you know what? Even though I don't agree with what Kevin Samuels be talking about, I honestly believe that man was murdered, for real. I believe that he was murdered. I honestly do. It is something about it that just don't seem right. I like, oh, really? Like, yeah, it just don't seem right. Then she said this too. She said, then on top of that, the media is sent up here reporting that Kevin platform is super toxic and all this stuff there. Then she talking about, even though I don't agree with the message, I don't agree with the media is talking about at all. I think what the media is saying is wrong about Kevin Samuels. He's not this toxic person. He is not this misogynistic person and stuff like that. It is that he does have an opinion about women based on his life. And he just present it in a way where people just don't agree with it. And I looked at her like, you're right, because I feel the same exact way. Gave her a kiss and went on about our business, all right? But yeah, this other part about that, so yeah, it's a lot of things that happen in regards to the situation and stuff, you know what I'm saying, that happens. So yeah, I mean, I agree. I absolutely agree.
When you start seeing black women literally throwing parades and celebrating on the grave of Kevin Samuels because he has done the horrible and unforgivable action of telling the truth. It comes down to the white power structure being able to influence what you believe to be black femininity and black feminism, as opposed to what is actually important to supporting the black community.
There were truths in his message, but he chose to offer those truths in one of the most abrasive ways that you possibly could. He did not couch his assessments of black women in a loving or supportive manner. He gave them brutally. But I think that the brutal manner in which he offered his narrative is what gave birth to his rise on the social media platform. Had he not been brutal, he may not have been that successful. See, the contradiction of those who take issue with the
Jubin, salute. Welcome to the show.
disrespectful manner in which Kevin Samuels criticized black women, the hypocrisy lies in the fact that they listen to gangster rap music that disrespected them far more and far worse than Kevin Samuels did, but they're not wishing for the death of any of those artists. You see, they watch reality shows and they follow entertainers who have had some of the most disrespectful things to say about black women, but yet and still none of those entertainers or athletes were criticized or condemned as much as Kevin Samuels, and those people have made more money than Kevin Samuels, and they still happen to be walking on the earth.
That to be honest with y'all, that is actually a good point that Dr. Umar Joseph made and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Now, also, I see y'all in the chat. Talk about Umar Johnson, about the money and stuff like that, but focus. We know good and well that Dr. Umar Johnson still hustling people over money so he could take care of himself. We know that. I'm not giving him a pass on that whatsoever. But focus on the top of their hand. Focus. Stay focused on the main message, all right? Y'all sitting up here acting like these women with Kevin Samuels. That's what y'all doing. Acting like these women with Kevin Samuels. I don't like the messenger. Stay focused. but now his point, I agree with that too. I really do agree with that point. Because that was one of the main issues that women was having with Kevin Samuels was the actual delivery of his message. Now, keep in mind, I also stated that Mrs. Urban said the same exact thing. She was saying that, look, his message is true, but it is his whole delivery on it that I don't like. So here it is. Here's something to think about, just like what he stated. Women all the time be around each other. They call each other bad bitches. They'll call each other hoes. And all these different negative words that they done made positive, right? They listen to these various artists, such as Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, and all these other type of artists out here who disrespect women. Some women, they be sitting up here turning up on Too Short. Too Short whole career was based on him calling a woman a bitch from beginning of the album all the way to the end of the album. And they twerking on their music, turning up. Sound lying. But yet and still, Kevin Samuels, who didn't do none of this stuff other than pointing out various behavioral issues of these type of women that I'm talking about, right? But he said it in a way where he didn't cutter them at all. He said it in a way where he was bluntly truthful about it. They got in their feelings about it. They end up getting in their feelings. So now they sit up here, go through the line, and like, well, let me find out what's up with Kevin Samuels. They start doxing Kevin Samuels, start figuring out his family history and all kind of dumb stuff. That's because they're up in their feelings about how the way Kevin Samuels presented the message. Now, this was, just like I stated, this was also one of the things that I disagree with Kevin Samuels as well, too, is his approach. Many shows that I have watched Kevin Samuels, his message would be spot on. But I'm not going to lie. If those of you who are Kevin Samuels fans or supporters, tell me if I'm lying about this. There be episodes where Kevin Samuels be straight asshole mode. Say I'm lying. That dude be a straight asshole. Meaning that this dude will be an asshole towards this person. This person will ask a simple question and he'll take the simple question and run with it. And the reason why he do that is because he be believing that the caller that's on there be trolling him. It may be true, but at the same time, say I'm lying, he be in this asshole moment. And this is one of the things that I didn't agree with for us, his approach. I believe since he was a man of stature, he's a man of standards, he was a man of having a high moral compass, I believe that there was a certain type of integrity that he had to carry himself at all times. Not disregarding the fact that he should be human, not disregarding that. Meaning that if the one person who's a caller call on there and they was just going right off the bat being an asshole to him, then he's rebutted back off of there. That's different. But the moment when a caller come on and they say, "Hey, Kevin, how you doing today?" Yo, what you calling in about? Just be an asshole to them. "Hey, Kevin, how you doing? How you feel about the topic?" "Well, Kevin, I just want to say, first of all, I appreciate watching your show." "Okay, whatever. How you feel about the topic?" Well, Kevin, how I feel about the topic is that, see, through my lifetime, I have, I live to do this and that and that. Ma'am, you sit up here over talking. I need you to tell me directly how you feel about the topic, or I'm gonna bid you a good night. This is what he would do. So I'm lying about that. And that was one of the things I disagree with him about doing that. Maybe he did it because it was part of the entertainment part. I don't know. But we cannot deny that Kevin Samuels was being relentless on that. We can't deny that. We cannot deny that. We can't. Absolutely, we can't.
So we have to call a spade a spade.
Rico, what's up?
I think, though, that in my personal opinion, Kevin Samuels' critique of black women and his prioritization of finances and physical attractiveness as being the two most important things in making someone a high value man, a high value woman, a high value mate, I don't agree with that at all. Because black men in this racist American society are all.
Oh, let me address this real quick. Juju B, no, I'm not disregarding that. I'm not disregarding what Kevin Samuels was saying, that he wanted the woman to be fit, friendly, you know what I'm saying, which is smiling and all that stuff. I'm not disregarding that at all. I agree with that. Absolutely, I agree with that. I do. I agree with that. But just like I said, that it be moments where Kevin Samuels, as many times that you don't watch Kevin Samuels, so I know you don't watch his shows. It be times where that dude be he be a straight up asshole for no apparent reason. So I'm lying about that. He really do. And he does, and it's weird that he pick and choose who to be an asshole with. And Not only he being an asshole towards women, he was doing it with men too. Like when he had this men's week segment and stuff, right? He did it with men too, where he was just being a straight up asshole. I'm just saying. And yeah, PMP, yeah, he was acting moody. I ain't lying. But that doesn't, just because he was acting that way, once again, let me clarify. Just because he was acting that way, that doesn't disregard the overall message that he was talking about. Because once again, I agree with the message that he was saying, but it was just the moments. That's what caused these women and these beta men, simp men to be in a space where they at right now. That's all I'm saying.
Been victimized by not being given adequate economic opportunity. So to put so much emphasis on money as being the determinant as to whether you can find you a quality woman, I reject that. And on the flip side, black women who have been so victimized by European standards of beauty forced upon them, I thought that Kevin Samuels' a reinforcement of those European standards of beauty on black women as what they need to measure themselves up against. I thought that was unfair. And to your point, the fact that he was found with a woman, a non-black woman, and because Kevin Samuels was a businessman and not an activist, I don't know if I could consider that an act of hypocrisy, because he played to the message black men wanted to hear, and he played to a market that made him a millionaire, at least in terms of views.
Now, another thing too, I see another comment that Juju being saying too. Here's another thing too about what you just said, right? And honestly, I understand and I get your point of view and I get your perspective. Now, speaking from just me and my personal experience dealing with women, it never been an opportunity where I did not speak and express how I felt about a woman. Never. What I said is what I said, period. But however, by me having a moral compass and by me having a certain level of integrity for myself, I don't do tick for tat. I don't put myself into a space just because a woman sit up here literally like I'm trying to holler at her and she literally curved me because I'm not up to her standards. I don't put myself into this space where tit for tat, since you treat me this way, this particular woman treat me this way, I'm going to treat every last woman the same exact measure of that way. No, I do not do that. I do not do that, period. I treat each and every last person, including a woman, with the same level of respect that they treat me. Kevin Samuels on the show, he did that. There were opportunities where he really did treat these women with utmost respect, but they literally came on there to clout him. And by them giving that energy out to him, by all means, every right, he should give that energy back out to them. By all means, I agree with that. But that's not what I'm talking about. Once again, I am talking about that it be women who are be friendly in the conversation, and this dude be a straight up asshole where he end up on being, it's almost as though this nigga be on this period, to be honest. If I could say it as blunt as that. It's like this nigga be on this period. It's like one moment this dude be cool. This is like another moment this nigga here is straight bipolar or something. I'm just being real about it. I'm just being real. And them particular people did not deserve that type of reaction to him. They didn't deserve that. Then when they tried to defend themselves, I'm going to hang up on you. He just hang up on them. But when the viewers are viewing that, they viewing it as entertainment. They're happy. They're chanting. They type in the comment, "Go, Kevin, go." But in reality, that is not a good look. That is bad, especially for a man who has that much integrity, that much high value to stoop himself down to that type of level of quote unquote as bipolarism. You know what I'm saying? One moment you cool, then the next moment you acting like a straight asshole for no apparent reason. Once again, I don't know if he this was literally his behavior. I don't know if he was just doing it for the clicks and views for the entertainment. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know that man mentality, but I know for certain that that's what he be doing, and we cannot take away from that. Period. We cannot take away from what he was doing. Period. Let's be real about it. Let's be real about it. Okay? Let's be honest. That's what he was doing. Ride it dirty. What's up with it, bro? What's up with it? So with it. That just like I say, just like with this coming, once again, I understand where you're coming from. But as a man, whenever a woman curves us, right? As a man, we shouldn't be in our emotions anyway. Remember what Kevin Samuels said to you about that? You've been watching the show. You remember what he said about that? That women are emotions and men is not emotional. They're more analytical. So you should be in your feelings anyway if a woman curve you. That should be a learning experience for you to understand that particular woman isn't the woman for you, period. So why even try to pursue that? Furthermore, why even get into your emotions about that anyway when that woman ain't for you? I'm just saying. I'm calling for what it is. Just being honest. That's what happened with my experience. It was probably before I got married. I was talking to all type of women and stuff. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these women, that wasn't for me. I ain't lying. That was not for me. Some of the women that I had talked to, I'm gonna be straight up real. Can everybody be real with y'all for one moment? Can I be real? The type of women that I was talking to prior before I got married, some of them women I talked to, I was talking to strictly because of looks, because they look good. They looked a certain way. I'm just being real with y'all. That's what caused me to holler at them. That the moment when I go and approach them, these same women who look good to me, I'm pretty sure they done got that same compliment from over 100 different men. Outside publicly, and I'm pretty sure they got an Instagram account too, where these dudes be up in their DM all the time too. And I'm pretty sure they probably be on these dating apps as well too, getting the same measure of compliment. So now they're one got this mentality that I know I look good, so that means I'm entitled to the type of man that I'm looking for. So that means that you don't qualify for the type of man that I'm looking for. Therefore, that's the reason why they curve a man like you. They curve a man like me. Because we didn't fit to their expectations of what they were seeking. That's where I did it. But in reality, and I'm being real, every last dude that's watching right now, I'm being real with y'all. That woman curving y'all, that woman not responding to y'all, that was actually a blessing for you, homie. That was a blessing in disguise, but you don't realize it. But it really was, because that woman was not for you. And I'm just being real with you. Be straight up honest, brutally honest and real with you on it. I'm just saying.
When you mentioned earlier that he was found to be broke after his death, I don't know how that's possible, because his videos were getting hundreds of thousands of views. He had a couple of videos that even had millions of views. So and he was putting out videos constantly. So I am at a loss to understand how a man who clearly was making $1 million out broke. I think that in and of itself is a mystery also.
Well, that's not a mystery, Dr. Umar Johnson. It is very possible for a person to be broke. Very possible. And the reason why it's possible, that deals with money management. See, this is the reason why a lot of us we desire to be wealthy, right? for us to financially be wealthy or be wealthy in other areas. This is one of the main reasons why I advocate that in order for you to get to that point, it's better for you to be educated first on wealth. A lot of us, we're not even educated on wealth at all. We think in terms of wealth that it's something that's we go and immediately spend. Kevin Samuels is no different. And I could tell just about how the way Kevin Samuels is, that he's a man that he got to keep up his physical appearance. He got to do all these different things to promote the image of wealth. This is no different from what these different like rappers and stuff. These rappers, entertainers. I'm not talking about actors, celebrities like movie stars. I'm only talking about these entertainers that's in the music industry. This is the reason why they go through their whole career. Then when their career is over with, right, them fools be broke as hell. All because they mismanaged their money. Now, there are exceptions to the rule where there are few artists out there who actually did right with their wealth, such as Jay-Z, who did right with his wealth. There are other people who doing right with their wealth, like such as Kanye West. All these different other type of artists, they're doing right with their wealth, meaning that they're not just spending, but they're investing. They're investing. So they can have a constant flow income continue going on, where it not only transcends not only through them, but it transcends through their generations and their generations after that. So yeah, it's very possible for him to be broke. Now, if this is true, I have no idea, because I know at the same time people out there are clouding over one Kevin Samuels. So I don't know if it's true or not. I have no idea, but I'm just going by what he say.
And so on that same point, I do have this question of how do we start having conversations in the black community? Because for every detraction you have of Kevin Samuels, you ain't gonna call him a liar. So how do we start having these conversations in a non-toxic, non-defensive manner that can actually be productive towards revitalizing the black family?
Hey, pardon my presence, you ain't shit for that comment. You wild him up, bro.
I think, and that's a great question. 3 points to that question of how do we begin to have that conversation. Number one, attorney, we cannot have that conversation if the conversation is going to be filled with toxic black people who are operating from their pain and not from a place of love, who are operating from their history and not from a vision of healing for the black community. Too many of the people having these conversations have already made up their mind. They don't believe black love is possible. And so we need to make sure that we know who is going to be participating in these conversations. It's okay to have some toxic black people in these conversations. But as you mentioned earlier, we need to have people in this conversation who have been in marriages for 10, 20, 30 years. We need to have people in this conversation, such as myself, who is a therapist and have been healing black families for years. Number two, attorney, I think there needs to be an intragender community conversation before there can be an intergender community conversation. In other words, black women need to have a conversation about black women. A lot of this negativity being directed towards a deceased and defenseless Kevin Samuels is unacceptable. Black women need to have a conversation with black women, and I think black men need to have a conversation with black men.
And at this point here, I absolutely agree with him 100% on this as well too, is that we do need to have this conversation. We really do. We really do. One thing that I can say this for myself personally is that whenever I talk about these different topics and stuff, like when I talk about the topic of dealing with these modern day women and their mentality, even though this topic is controversial, even though this topic would trigger these type of women that I'm talking about, it even trigger normal women. And I'm not even talking about the women who's resembling this behavior. But at the end of the day, I know with me, without a shadow of doubt, is that I don't talk about these topics just for clout and views. I talk about these topics because I present my perspective about it, and every last episode that I do on whatever topic that I'm talking about, what do? I always present some type of solutions and accountability as well too, every single time. And I believe that even with Kevin Samuel's situation, I believe that a lot of his shows, at the end of the day, it didn't pertain accountability and solutions. I believe that a lot of his shows was just entertainment based. There been some episodes where he do challenge accountability and gives various solutions, but it appears that it was more entertainment for Kevin Samuel than having it being balanced, where it's entertainment, but also giving accountability and solutions as well too. But on my particular platform, that's what I provide also. Of course, I'm going to entertain y'all because this is what I'm here to do. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm a clout because this is what I'm here to do. But at the same time, I provide a message based on my perspective. And when I say my perspective, I'm not saying that my perspective is 100% truth. And I believe that was another thing that caused the disdain with Kevin Samuels and these people who wish for him to be Thanos snap. I believe that there's another disdain on that as well, meaning that he made what he said 100% truth. But me, on the other hand, I don't make what I say 100% truth. I always said that it is my particular perspective based on how the way I perceive life and how the way I'm living my life every single day. So maybe, I don't know, maybe if Kevin Samuel would have approached it in a different way, then maybe he wouldn't have as much as this negative energy, even in his death, like it is right now. Of course, he's still going to have haters, because we all do. Even Urban have haters. And my show is overall a positive message. I do say so myself, but even I have people who hate on me for no apparent reason. It is part of the business. But at the end of the day, I do my very best to balance it out. Balance out the clout, balance out all that out to not only that, where I also have a positive message and I'm giving solutions and accountability. And I give a choice as well too. And I don't judge you on the choice. I give a choice as well too. You either choose or you don't. You choose, it's fine. If you don't, cool. I don't even judge you on it. It is what it is. Because at the end of the day, it is your life. I don't control your life. You do. You control your own life, not me. So I'm honestly, y'all, I honestly ran out of time on this particular episode, y'all. I really did. I want to go through this more. Actually, it's only like 7 more minutes left for this particular one video. So I'll probably just leave it as it is, or I might do a continuation on this. I don't know. I'll see. But I appreciate everyone who tuned in to this particular episode. I appreciate everyone who tuned into this particular episode. I hope that what I was share with you, like I always, that it gives you a different perspective about how the way you perceive things. Likewise, a lot of things that Dr. Umar just was saying in this particular one, topic. I do agree with him on that. I'm not talking about, Umar and him, money laundering and doing all this weird ass stuff that he doing. That's neither here nor there. I'm not going to discredit that at all. But for us, this particular thing he talking about, yeah, I agree with him on that, for real. I agree. With him on that 100%. So once again, I appreciate y'all tuning in. If you're not subscribed to me, the official Urban Therapist, by all means, subscribe to my channel. If you're able to share out this live, by all means, share it out so people can to get a perspective about this also. Because I'm down to see what people would think about this as well too, right? So like I wish y'all continue to fight fate with faith, and I'll see y'all again later on tonight when I'll be covering the topic about Derek Jackson's response to Kevin Samuels. All right, peace out, y'all.
I don't care how long it take to get an op back. All my niggas outside, steak, bitch, we out back.